Hey everyone, welcome back to Two Nerds in a Podcast. And today we have a guest. Everybody say
Woo!
hi to Travis.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for being on.
Gladly.
And today we are talking about The Last of Us.
Woo!
Season 2.
Sad.
Sad. Very sad.
Oh gosh. A lot happens. Well, I mean, I say a lot happens. A lot happens all the time in The Last of Us, but there's a lot of new people, there's a lot of different stories. I think all of us have played through the Casey, have you played through the game?
Yes, I have.
Okay, so we've all played through the game. Giant spoiler alert for anybody who's listening and hasn't played the game or watched the TV show. I don't know why you'd be listening to this without doing that. I'm gonna say that the amazingness of The Last of Us is still present in season 2, but there's a lot of things that they didn't change, and that makes me upset. Like killing Joel off in the beginning. We still started with that. And I'm like,
They were not letting us get away with that one.
No.
That is the hill they chose literally to die on, was that we will kill Joel off in the beginning.
Yep.
And then immediately flip away from that. I'm like, I don't like that. Let me see. I don't remember any actor names besides Pedro Pascal. Sorry.
Naturally.
There's Bella Ramsey. We know her.
Yeah, and her. Who was the girl that
about
plays Abby? I don't remember.
I don't know.
Oh, that's
See, you don't know
what
either.
is her name? Kate. It's Caitlin Dever.
Yeah. Okay. So when she got cast, I thought that was pretty interesting because she's small.
She's little.
Abby is not by any stretch of the imagination.
Yeah, Abby's buff.
Yeah, she's freaking hench. And so I was like, Caitlin didn't really get... I mean, she definitely got, musclier than she usually is in a lot of her roles.
Mm-hmm.
But... And I think her face is accurate for Abby. I think, face casting-wise, she was a good choice. And she's an amazing actress. But I think what was missing is her, the height difference and the body build difference between Ellie and Abby.
Yeah.
So that was kind of weird. I
thought it was weird too, because Abby is I feel like when you see Abby in the game, you're like, okay, yeah, she's a little scary looking.
Yeah,
she's
scary.
She has a
real
presence.
beefy.
Yeah.
In the show, it's just kind of like, she's not that scary. She's not that scary.
Yeah.
She's just like this little girl fueled by hate.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But it'll be interesting. I'm surprised they kind of split game 2 into a minimum of 2 seasons. I know they've been talking about 3, and I was like, I don't... Yeah.
Oh, we don't need 3.
No. No, we don't. And I was like, that's interesting. Because I don't know.
Yeah, I'm worried. I'm worried it's going to be season 3 is going to be Abby's section, and then I don't know, season 4 is going to be the whole Santa Barbara chapter in the game, and I'm a bit worried it's going to be stretched out too much.
Oh, for sure.
If they do 3 seasons total, that's fine. If they do 3 more seasons, yeah, no thank you.
Yeah.
That's where they're and again, I love The Last of Us with a passion, but game 2 has such a weird, even as a game, has such a weird story structure.
Yeah.
And I was hoping they changed that for the show, because game 2, and I wasn't even I hadn't even played it, but I knew about the backlash that game 2 got for killing Joel off. And then when I played through it, the whiplash of going from him dying to immediately playing as Abby, I was like, I don't want her. She killed him. I want her to die. I don't care anymore. And then they're like, but look at all this stuff that she has to go through. I'm like, she killed Joel. I really don't care.
With a golf club.
I know. She literally beat him. And that's
the
awful.
Worst. That's a terrible way to die. Also, I mean, the memes are good, though. I do like sending Jamie memes.
I hate it. I hate it so much. She'll send me a meme, and then because it's in my text, every time I go on a Safari, it's like, oh, links from your text. So the Joel and One meme she sent me was literally on there every time.
Wasn't it like Joel's head is like a golf
As a
ball or
golf ball.
something? Yeah.
I hate it.
That's
I just
so
wanted to
funny.
use Google, and it's like, here it is. I'm like,
It's like, here you go.
Oh gosh. But yeah, I kind of wish they would have moved. I don't like listen, I know characters die and like it's more interesting, especially when a main character dies.
Mm-hmm.
But I wish they would have done it if they were planning to do a total of 4 seasons. I think they should have at least waited until the end of season 2 to kill him.
Yeah, maybe do it like chronologically.
Yeah.
And not, I mean, like the video game, like, it jumps back and forth a lot. And,
Yes.
the show did it less, but
Mm-hmm.
I'm curious to know what that would look like if they went, chronologically in order to where, yeah, maybe Joel dies at the end of season 2. I'd be curious to
Yeah.
see that.
I also think they could have, if they did it chronologically, they could have dug into characters like Tommy and Maria a bit more, and just
Mm-hmm.
in Jackson in general. And then they
Yeah.
could have kind of started sneaking like Abby's story in, because the main thing that I have a problem with is because they introduce Abby, and then Tommy and Joel have that whole scene together, and then she kills him. And I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
okay, at first I was like, oh man, this girl, we're gonna like get into her universe. Like, I don't care about Abby before she kills Joel, so I don't like her afterwards.
Yeah.
I feel like they should, at least for the people who have never played the game, never seen anything with the game related, they should have made you care about Abby in some form or another.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because then
Given
you
like
can have
her
set.
backstory. Yeah.
Yeah. And then there would be, I think they tried to present that kind of like, which team are you situation that Hollywood is always obsessed with doing. When you kill off Joel, there is no other team besides Team Ellie. Like, I don't
Yeah.
know anybody who likes Abby when pitted against Ellie.
I personally like both of them
Mm-hmm.
equally. So like, in the game, I towards the end where, they're in Santa Barbara fighting, I
Yeah.
didn't want any of them to die. I just wanted them to like,
Yeah.
make amends of their past because they both have well, not Ellie, not so much. She is like
Yeah.
so drowned in this hate, where Abby fully changed, realized what she did was wrong, and
Mm-hmm.
try to better herself. So both of them I really cared about.
Yeah. I feel like they could have taken us on a bit more of Abby's journey beforehand.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Instead of just killing off Pedro. Why would you do
Yeah,
that?
I know, right? They're like, okay, we've killed him off. You must continue watching. And then, like, right after that, they're like, here's all the cute flashbacks you've been waiting for. And I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
Like,
I
thanks.
hate this.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'm like, I've already been crying all week because he's dead, and now you're gonna give me all the cute flashbacks, which just making me gonna cry more. Make me even more devastated.
And that episode is great. Like going back to what you're talking about, they could introduce more stories. I loved showing us Eugene. I loved that part
Yes. Oh my
so
gosh.
much.
I know when in season 1, I think it was season 1, where what's her name was like, yeah, you killed Eugene. I was like, what?
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know did that happen in the game? I don't remember that happening in the game.
I don't think.
If they
No, I
did, it
don't
was
think
a
that
very like
happened.
passing situation where they might have like mentioned it, but I was like,
Yeah.
what? What do you mean he killed Eugene? Because like,
Yeah.
What do you mean? Yeah.
because I know like Eugene's death was very hard on like a lot of the characters that we see. So
Mm-hmm.
like when they were like, oh yeah, he had to kill him, I'm like, excuse me, what do you mean? And so like getting into that, again, very small thing but very detailed, and I love that it showed how Ellie and Joel's relationship changed just from that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think Joel kills him in the
I
I
don't
don't
think
think
game.
so
so.
either. I think he just like died from other causes.
Yeah.
Um
He smoked a lot of weed, so like
yeah, he had his whole
his little
farm.
farm. But yeah, so that scene was devastating.
Yeah. How do you guys feel about the whole porch scene? being introduced so early, where Joel
That
and Ellie
was
have that talk.
Yeah. That was interesting. Again, being really early, that was interesting.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't expecting it.
Yeah, I personally wish they saved it till,
Yeah.
closer to where this whole story is wrapping up, season 3 or 4, wherever, they choose to end game 2. I
Yeah.
wish they saved that. That would have been such a powerful scene that like snapped Ellie out of, killing
Yeah,
Abby.
her blind rage for sure.
Yeah.
Mm, yeah.
Yeah, especially because I feel like too, like as a flashback, again, it would have that powerful moment, but like
Mm-hmm.
it would again still give us a glimpse into something that we haven't seen because we know that like Joel and Ellie have had deep talks and have bashed heads. We know all of this, so I think that yeah, that definitely could have been a really good tool for her to get out of the blind rage and to realize that she's not living the life that Joel wanted her to live.
Yeah.
I'm still devastated by oh my gosh, what's his name getting shot at the end there?
Jesse.
Jesse. I he's
Jesse.
just a sweet boy. He wants to be the leader of
He's just a
Jackson. He wants to
baby.
protect all his friends. I didn't really care for his and Ellie's relationship in the show, though. I think it was better in the game.
Yeah, I agree.
Mm-hmm.
I oddly enough, I feel like they kind of missed some of the marks in this season more than
Mm-hmm.
season 1 did.
Mm-hmm.
I feel
Mm-hmm.
like I felt like I was watching season 1 Ellie more than the second
Yeah.
game. I didn't feel like
Yeah.
she was
Yeah.
I didn't feel like she was so vengeful that she should have been. Um
Yeah.
or just kind of losing herself in this hate. She was super accepting of Dina being pregnant, whereas the game she was like, "Oh, you're a liability."
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, "Huh,
She's like, I'm gonna
interesting.
be a
I'm gonna be
dad.
a dad." I was like, "This is interesting. I don't know if I like this."
It was also kind of weird because like Dina was like, "I'm pregnant," and then she was like, "Okay," and then they like slept together, and I was like,
Yeah,
that's a bit odd. Like, that's not the
yeah,
choice I would have made, but
no,
okay."
because they did such a good job with like sticking to the source material in this first season
Yeah.
with minor changes to where I actually prefer the show over the game. And then this one, I'm like, why didn't you guys do the same thing? Like, you guys made some big
Yeah.
changes.
And like I feel like too because I know in a lot of interviews before the show came out they were like, "Yeah, we've, changed quite a bit and adjusted
Mm-hmm.
some things." So I'm like, "Okay, so they're going to take all of the critique they got from the game and this show is where they're going to change it and that's where like these two things are going to kind of deviate very far. So there'll be a difference
Yeah.
between the game and between the show." But they didn't really do that and I was like, "Oh, I thought we were going to like at like the first season added so much depth to things that we didn't get to see in the first game because obviously doesn't necessarily make good gameplay."
Mm-hmm.
And so I was like, okay, we're gonna do that in season 2, and then the only thing that sticks out mainly is everything with Eugene, but that's such a small portion, and Joel going to therapy.
Yeah, I actually really liked that. I loved Joel, going to therapy. I loved
Mm-hmm.
all the, during the whole flashback episode where he's presenting Ellie with a cake because
Oh
he
yeah,
forgot Sarah's cake. So like this was like a nice symbol that he's,
yeah,
trying to fill that hole, in his heart from Sarah.
yeah, and trying to
Um,
because he's. I love that he mentioned that he's never been in this territory because
mm-hmm.
Sarah never made it past what was she 13. So like
Yeah.
it's all new territory for him. He's like, I've never had a teenage daughter like this, and so he's trying his hardest to be the dad that he knows Sarah deserved, but he's gonna
Mm-hmm.
be that for
Poor
Ellie.
Joel.
Yeah, I thought those were great additions that the game didn't do or just didn't show.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah, those were some of the additions I was like really, really surprised with.
I also really love the addition of Dina and Joel's relationship
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
he looks at her like another daughter and she looks at him like a dad, and I'm like, that's so
Mm-hmm.
cute. And they like work together and they're learning from each other. And then I like that it contrasts his frustration with Ellie because he's been through so much with Ellie, but
Yeah.
Dina acts like quote unquote the better daughter. And I love that struggle that he has because I feel like a lot of parents have that struggle with when you have more than one child, or you have like
Yeah.
an actual child and then like somebody younger that you work with, and you're like, why can't you guys just be like you want to take like certain aspects from one to transfer to the other, but that's not how people work. So I like that about his and Dina's relationship.
Mm-hmm. And I liked the change of her being there when Joel died over Tommy.
Yeah.
Like it definitely would have been nice to see Tommy being there because I love Tommy on his rage quest. He's so
Yeah.
badass in the game. But
Oh my gosh, yeah.
it made it gave like a sort of like layering to Dina and why she wanted to go with Ellie. Whereas the game, she's
Mhm.
like, oh yeah, no, I guess I could come with you. Like this was like, I lost a father too, and
Yeah.
I want to go with you on this journey to
Yeah.
seek justice. So I liked her being a part of that.
I did too. I did too. And also too, I feel like it puts the responsibility of Jackson on Tommy a bit more, to where
Mm-hmm.
he's like, I
Mm-hmm.
wasn't there, but also I can't leave. Like I can't just go out and leave the town. Especially I love the addition of the attack on Jackson.
Yeah, because we always hear stories like in the game, like
Mhm.
when they were attacked during different times of the years. So it was cool seeing how they defend themselves during an attack to that scale, especially.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's nice to see that Tommy is not only struggling with obviously his allegiance to Joel, but also his
Mm-hmm.
allegiance to his wife and his family and Jackson, because he knows
Mm-hmm.
he has become an important and
Mm-hmm.
pivotal part. And that, as unfortunately as an adult, when you want to go and just leave and do something, you can't. You have to think about the consequences for everybody
Oh yeah.
else. So I definitely love that. Tommy as a character in the show is, I mean, he's great in the game, but like I feel like they really upped his involvement in the show, and I really love that.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree.
Gabriel Luna is a
Tommy.
stunning choice.
Yeah, I was impressed with him with season one, and then I was like really looking forward to him in season two. And he still has not disappointed.
No, definitely one of the best cast characters in the show.
Absolutely.
Honestly, I don't really think that they have like a bad
No, yeah, I agree.
casting.
I think
Yeah.
everyone is so well casted.
Everyone is very, yeah. I love the casting of everybody.
Yeah, I think like the only thing, I know a lot of people out there always gripe about Bella Ramsey. I like her as Ellie,
So do I.
but I also think for
Me
season
too.
2 that she, like again, you said earlier it feels like you're watching season 1 Ellie,
Mm-hmm.
and I feel like writing wise they didn't change her enough from season
Yeah,
1.
yeah. It's definitely the writing and not Bella Ramsey because she's amazing. And like I saw that like when she kills is it Maria? No. Who did she kill
Oh,
in
oh
the
my
basement?
gosh.
Um
Um
Nora. Nora.
yes, I'm like, it's somebody, such a weird name.
That whole episode and like when she beats Nora to death, like I thought we were finally getting that version of Ellie where
Yeah.
she slowly starts losing herself and then she just kind of relapses back into season 1 Ellie. And I'm like, "Oh, where did all that hate and rage went?"
Yeah, I thought we were gonna be ramping up. Like I'm like, oh, this
Yeah,
is
I
this is where she's gonna just have rage in her eyes the entire time.
yeah, I thought it was going to be a slow build and then like this is the moment where she tastes blood and like just wants more of it. And
Mm-hmm.
then that kind of didn't happen. So it's
Yeah.
definitely not Bella. It's just the writing was a bit patchy this season. I'm
Yeah.
not too sure what happened.
I don't know. And I don't know if that might be from like the uncertainty of how many seasons they're going to try and make this. So they're like, "Oh, we got to make this change if we're going to make this work later."
Mm-hmm.
But and hopefully that's it, because again, the season 1 was amazing and I was expecting that amazingness to continue, and then it's kind of
Yeah.
been a weird like stop and go the entirety of
Yeah.
season 2. I'm like, "Oh, okay. I mean, I guess."
Yeah. I wonder if
Sure.
they were like a little scared to do like the level of accuracy that they did in season 1 because of how much hate the second game got. I wonder if they were scared that it was going to be
Yeah.
the same thing with this show, to where like the viewership might drop or the ratings will drop. So I wonder if
Mhm.
they try to play it safe in some areas.
For sure. Yeah, it definitely feels like they tried to tiptoe around certain things. And I feel
Yeah.
like with adaptations, you either have to like pedal to the metal through the whole thing, or you
Mm-hmm.
have to change a lot in order to play it safe. But like I feel like
Yeah.
The Last of Us and just like zombie shows, apocalyptic shows, you can't play it safe. You have to make a lot of controversial decisions, otherwise it
Yeah.
gets kind of boring and complacent.
Mm-hmm.
Like The Walking Dead, I know a lot of people dropped off in the later seasons because it's
Oh
like,
yeah.
like,
It just became a
eh.
copy of paste every season. It was the
Yeah.
same thing.
Yeah. Yeah, so I feel like the differential with The Last of Us is that the story is just so beautiful and devastating and real.
It's very human, and I
Yeah.
love the second game. I love it so much. It made me sad when people were hating on it and saying, it's the worst game ever, because I feel
Oh,
like they just
yeah.
missed the point of what the game was trying to tell you. And I do
Yeah.
wish that they, like you said, went full throttle with adapting, everything the game did with changes
Yeah.
here and there. Because, like, season one, I loved uh the cold opening for episode 1 and 2, like, the talk show, and
Mhm.
the very beginning of the outbreak, like, and then obviously Frank and Bill's episode is
Love Frank and
beautiful,
Bill.
Oh.
so beautiful. But other than that, it's so accurate to the game. It's almost shot for
Mhm.
shot, word for word.
Yeah. I love Game 2 has one, I love the updated gameplay for the PlayStation
Mm-hmm.
5.
Mm-hmm.
Stunning. And again, I think the biggest like determining factor is the fact that we go from game 1, and same thing in the show, we go from season 1 to having basically this whole story focus on Joel and Ellie, and then the second we get into game 2, half of that story is gone. He's dead.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I feel like if they had given us just a little bit more time before that, it would solve a lot of grief that a lot of people have with the show and the game. And that we would be able to kind of, people could dig into the story without the devastation of Joel's death.
Yeah.
Joel.
Poor
Hey,
guy.
Shimmer's
Then,
alive still.
yes,
True.
she did
That
not
is
die via
true. She did
explosion.
not die.
She's just
I
chilling in
did.
that store.
Yeah, she's just like, I guess I'll hang out here. Maybe somebody will come and get me. But I love that when the one episode where they leave her there and everyone's like, oh my god, they forgot to write about Shimmer. Nobody knows if she's dead or not. And then she appears
Yeah.
literally like 2 episodes later. And you're like, oh, okay, she's
Jesse's
dead.
just like,
Okay,
yo, I
cool.
got your horse.
Yeah. And Shimmer's like, I didn't know if you guys were coming back for me. Oh, Shimmer. She's so sweet.
And alive. God bless.
Yes. Yeah. We got one issue resolved from the game, because I think in
Yep.
the game she dies like,
Yeah.
So suddenly and so brutal.
I know. Oh, she deserves to live forever in a green pasture.
Mm-hmm. I loved how much of Isaac we got and more of the wolves,
Yeah.
especially his backstory where he kills his own men,
I know. That was
with a
crazy.
random cameo of Josh Peck.
Yeah, that was hilarious. I'm
I
like,
was
what are
like,
you
why is
doing
he in
here?
this?
What are you doing here, buddy?
It was a little too distracting, but he came and went so
Yeah.
fast, so I was okay with it.
Yeah, it's like when they put Ed Sheeran and Game of Thrones, and you're like, bruh, what are you doing here?
What are you doing? Well, you're on a side quest. What are you doing?
Oh, yeah. I remember, like, the internet, like, blew up, and it's just Josh Beck and all this army gear. I'm like, what? Like, I don't understand why he's here, but okay.
What are you doing here? What are you doing here, buddy?
Did think it was messed up that he died. I'm like, oh, they spend all their money. They're like, we can only give you 5 minutes of screen time. That's all we can afford.
That's it. I do really hope that they don't spread it out to 2 more seasons.
I'm honestly, I think they're gonna do that, but we'll see.
I don't know, because the viewership dropped off so hard, which I figured they were probably expecting, but I feel like it dropped way lower than they thought it would. So I don't know. HBO and Warner is kind of a bit weird when they'll have a super popular show and they'll ride the wave of being super popular, but the second it dips just a little too low, they're like, okay, wrap it up. We're ending it right now.
Wrap it up.
And then you get, the final season of Game of Thrones situation, and you're like, ooh. So, I don't know. But when's the next season supposed to be out? It's supposed to be in like a year or 2, right? Because it was 2 years between season 1 and 2.
Yeah, I don't think we're getting it next year. I would like it to be next year, but I think it's been another 2 years.
Yeah, which is crazy because this season was shorter than season 1, and I was like, I don't think you needed. I mean, to be fair, you probably needed 2 years just to get Pedro in, because he's doing like 10 billion projects right now.
Oh yeah, he's got Star Wars, he's got Fantastic Four, he's got so many other things.
Yeah, so
he's a busy man.
He is a busy man. He's a man on the go. So, I mean, like, now that he's basically not in it, I would think the timeline for filming would be a lot faster, but if they're going to take their time with the 2 years, I hope they really, like, pedal to the metal with this next season and just get into the nitty-gritty of everything.
Yeah.
I did like that they introduced... What were the people in the woods? I don't remember what their name is.
Oh, Scars?
Yeah, I was interested to see that they introduced him so early.
Yeah, I liked that. I didn't care too much for Ellie randomly getting captured for a second and then being released.
That was a bit
weird. I thought that was like a waste of 2 minutes of screen. It made no sense. But other than that, showing the scars so early, I thought was awesome.
Yeah, it kind of gave like an eerie, like, what does this mean? What are we gonna see in the future? But yeah, I think her whole journey on the boat for like 10 minutes we could have done without.
We could have skipped that.
Yeah. I was like, where is she going? Why is she going? I don't understand what we're doing.
What is happening?
It was so random. And like, she almost went through the exact same thing that Abby went through. So like, are they just gonna copy and paste that scene in season 3 with Abby?
They'll just digitally edit her out and then put her there.
It's the same scene.
Yeah. They'll just green screen Abby and it'll be fine.
No one will notice.
No. It'll be great. But yeah, it'll be interesting when they start to introduce Lev and his story and his and Abby's connection.
Yeah, I'm really excited for that. I'm mostly excited for the Rat King. Not gonna lie, I want to see a live action. I want to see what it looks like. Live action. How are they gonna do it? They kept teasing it in this season. Like, you could hear it while Ellie is like chasing Nora and like them closing all the doors because spores are now a thing again. Like, I just want to see the Rat King.
Yeah,
me too. Especially because they do such a good job with all of their other clickers and stuff.
All their special effects and makeup is so good. Even the bloaters, like, they look fantastic.
Oh my god, yeah. That thing was scary. I was like, if that showed up in real life, I would just pass away right then and there.
Yeah.
I'm like,
I'm
just gonna go.
No, thank you.
Didn't they take the what is it called? They took because in the second game, don't they have to wear like gas masks all the time?
Ellie did because she was trying to well, obviously she's covering up the fact that she's immune because no one's gonna believe her. But everyone else, yeah, they wore gas masks.
Huh.
Yeah, which Dina does when they're going through the spores and stuff, and then Ellie's breaks, and Ellie's like, it's fine, just trust me, it's fine. Just
Yeah. And then she stops wearing it for the rest of the game. But everyone else kept their gas masks on.
What were the clickers that like they can move super fast?
Oh my god, the stalkers.
Yeah, oh my
They
god,
are
those things were
terrifying in this season.
freaky.
They are
Absolutely
terrifying in
not.
this season.
Especially like the whole warehouse full of them. No, thank you.
Yeah, that's terrifying.
Absolutely
no,
not.
thank you.
Yeah,
Hard
that was
pass.
terrifying.
I will say that like all of their actors that they hire to be various kinds of clickers, top-notch team. Like I don't know how they move their body that way, but it is creepy as heck.
It's so creepy.
But it's
I
so
remember
good.
watching like behind the scenes for season 1, like when we 1st see the
Mhm.
clicker in the museum and just watching the actor kind of like move around before the cameras are rolling. It's just like, oh my god, you're creepy looking.
It's so creepy. It would be so cool to be on that set though and see that kind of stuff in person because I imagine it's so like crazy.
Yeah, because they go all out with all the
Oh
sets.
yeah.
Yeah, I imagine you're immediately transported into this world, and like, there's not much acting needed
Yeah.
because
You're
it's
just
just so
terrified.
real. Yeah,
Like, great acting. Thanks. I wasn't acting. I was gonna poop myself in any
I was
second.
legit terrified of that thing.
And they better do a Last of Us maze at Horror Nights this year.
Oh man, I hope so.
Didn't they do that last? No, they did last year.
They
2
did
years ago.
No, 2 years
2 years ago. Oh,
ago.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I knew they did it, but I just can't remember what year they did.
So it's time
And it
for a
was
new one.
small.
I
Yeah, it was
know.
small, but it was so good. I wish it was a bit of a bigger maze. So hopefully when they do another one, that the maze will be like giant.
Mm-hmm.
Because like the sounds of the clickers makes my spine tingle. I'm like, mm-mm.
Yeah, they're icky. And like especially right in your ear. Ugh.
Oh. But yeah, Horror Nights, honestly, they should just like I feel like Stranger Things, The Last of Us, and Five Nights at Freddy's should just be like on the docket at all times. Like don't ever change them out, just bring them back every year.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah,
please.
I agree.
But I am excited because Casey and I went to that Fan Fest thing at Universal this year, and I took the little survey, and The Last of Us was one of the options to be at Fan Fest.
Oh.
So even that would be
Ooh.
really cool.
That would be cool.
So I kind of hope because like one of the things at FanFest was a maze like situation. So I'm like that'd be kind of cool if we start dipping into shows like The Last of Us, but for things outside of Horror Nights.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that'd be really, really cool.
Got that, Universal?
Yeah, you listen to
you're
this?
listening.
The CEO of Universal is listening right now.
Yeah, there's our number 2 fan because other Jamie will always be number 1. What would you guys rate this season overall?
Ooh. I would say a 7.5 out of 10.
I was thinking 7.
I was thinking 7 also.
Yeah, because the things that, you know, they did were good, but then the things that they tried to change, it's just, I don't know.
Especially
like,
compared to season 1.
Yeah,
like, compared
exactly.
to season 1, and season 1 was so good.
Yeah.
That 7 is like what I'd say.
Yeah. My main gripe is just how they wrote Ellie. I think that's my biggest gripe of the whole season. Everything else, like, I could get around. It's just how she acted. I didn't get the 19-year-old filled with hate and just kind of losing herself, ruining her friendships and relationships with everyone else. Like, I just felt like it was still season 1, 13-year-old Ellie, you know?
Yeah, where she's still trying to make friends and be friendly and still have some sense of community. But like in game 2, she's like ready to just burn everything to the ground. I also like in the beginning of season 2, the show, I in the in game 2, you could tell she didn't care if she lived or died. She was okay
Mm-hmm.
with dying, and I didn't get that in this season.
Yeah, yeah. And obviously, like her being so accepting of Dina being pregnant, I think that was like a big turnoff for me where I was like, oh,
Yeah.
because in the game, like that's a moment where you're like, oh, she's starting to lose herself because she's like, you're a liability. You need to go
Yeah.
home. I could do this on my own. And this is just like, oh, like jokes and stuff. And it's like,
Yeah.
yeah, no, keep coming with me. We'll keep going and like, put
Yeah.
yourself in
No
danger.
worries that you're like
Yeah,
carrying a
it's all
baby. It's
yeah,
fine.
it's
Jesse won't be
fine.
mad.
Yeah, no, it's okay. Yeah, but yeah, I think that would be my biggest gripe. So I think a 7.5 is what I would rate this season.
Yeah. It was good, but it could have been way better.
Mm-hmm.
They could have added a lot of layers to this season to set up the next season.
Yeah, it felt a bit rushed.
Yes.
Yeah, maybe like 2 more episodes. I think that's all it would have needed to
Yeah.
fill in those gaps. I don't know where they could have ended this season, but I feel like there could have been a better spot.
I really think they could have had more Abby in this season. Either because they introduced her in the first episode and I'm like, "Oh, okay." And then she was in like one other episode and then that was all we got. And I'm like, "Oh,
Yeah, well,
okay."
I mean, like that's how it is in the game. She's there for killing Joel, and then you don't see
Yeah.
her until when she kills Jesse.
Yeah. But I almost feel like they should have they I feel like they wanted to do like all Ellie this season, like all her story up until what is it, day 3 of Seattle.
Mm-hmm.
And then the next season would have been
All of
backtracking and doing all
yeah,
of Abby's. But
yeah,
like they kind of again did that weird like kind of stop and go situation and I'm like, okay,
yeah. They were dipping their toes, like like with Isaac. Like I still
yeah.
love that addition, but
Oh, for sure.
I totally get what you're saying. Like they should have just fully stuck with Ellie. Who are these wolves? Who are these scars? Why did Abby do what she did? And then give us season 3, and it's like, oh, it's starting to come together. I get it now.
Yeah. Then you kind of see where everything starts falling into place and you're like, I get it. I
Yeah.
understand. Like it's okay to not have all of the information for a story
Mm-hmm.
all at once.
Yeah.
Like leave the suspense.
I think that was a mistake of this season, was showing Abby's like who she is and why she did what she did in the very
Mm-hmm.
first season.
Yeah.
Or I'm sorry, the very first
That first
episode.
episode. Yeah,
Yeah,
you're like, oh,
I think
okay.
that was a bit of a mistake because I loved in the second game. It's like, who is this? I want her dead.
Yeah.
Like I need answers. And you start, with a flashback. You know who she is. You know why she did it. It's like, oh, I kind of get it. I'm conflicted. Do I like you? Do I hate you? Like, is Ellie actually
Yeah.
the bad guy? Like, there's this whole like mix of feelings of confliction, and I think the show. I wish they did that.
Yeah, for sure. They needed to play more on the emotions
Mm-hmm.
of the audience because I feel like season 1 again, we got a lot of more emotional depth, especially with Frank and Bill
Mm-hmm.
because we didn't know Frank at all except the fact that he was hanging from the ceiling.
Yeah.
Uh, like that was all we got and his letter and obviously that Bill was upset. But I like that we really got to know both of their pasts and then how they became to be and then how they knew Joel and Tess and then
Mm-hmm.
their ending. Like it was a nice little like mini character arc in the middle of Joel and Ellie's adventure. And we got a little bit with Eugene, but like we also didn't really get Eugene and oh my gosh. What is his wife's name? I don't remember.
Oh,
Catherine O'Hara's character.
yeah.
Gail.
Gail.
We didn't. I almost wish they would have done kind of a similar thing with Eugene and Gail, like a mini character arc within this season. Because again, adding depth to characters we don't get a lot of time with.
Yeah, I actually would have loved to see that, and having Joel and Ellie as like a bit of a side character in their
Mm-hmm.
episode, and you seeing how Eugene dying really affects Gail and like the community, like what really happened.
Yeah. Also, the addition of Gail as a character, top notch.
Exactly.
She was hilarious.
She's so funny. And it just makes sense having a therapist in this kind of a world.
Yeah, I also like that she gets paid in weed.
Paid in weed.
And I like when Joel's like, should you be drinking while we do this? And she's like, this is my office. I do what I want.
Yeah.
Well, we are at time. Does anybody have anything to add before we wrap up the episode?
No, I think I'm good.
Casey, anything?
I'm excited to see what they do with the rest of it.
Mm-hmm.
Is what I'm gonna add,
and how much,
Yeah.
I'm actually kind of surprised that with how long they expect this show to go, there's not like more. Like, there's not gonna be another game. There's not like a ton of merch. There's not a ton of events. Like, that seems a bit odd, but I guess we'll see whatever they do in the future. But I'll be excited for it.
Yeah.
That is all we have for today's episode. Thank you, Travis, for joining us.
Thank you.
It's very exciting having you here. Make sure wherever you guys are listening to subscribe so that you can continue to get notifications for us. Follow us on all the social medias. Buy our stickers over on the Etsy store, and we will see you guys in the next episode. So goodbye.
Yeah, bye.
Bye.